Hello, and welcome to my last video for the Omega Rice multiplayer game. So here I'm going to boot up the game, and I'm just going to go through a quick cycle of the game. You can see here I have my client, here I have my server, and if I boot up my client, you can see there's nothing on my client right now until I boot up my server, and then the game starts. So you can see here that when I move this guy moves over here and mimics him in every way. And then I'm going to go ahead and shoot that guy. You can see he moves down there. It accepts that. It realizes that that's what's happening. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try and cycle through this and get through this game as fast as I can so I can show you that it does in fact cycle through. So there's round 1 is finished. You can see on both screens to get the scores updated. And then like if I go on here, I can move this guy too. So he's died. I'm going to try and finish the game fast so that way you can see it cycles. So I'm not going to do anything. God, I'm so bad at this game. So that's 2. That's round 2 now. And you can see here. Got to kill him twice more. Twice more. And you can see here player 1 wins. Go back to the lobby and start a new game again. So as you can see that does in fact cycle through all the way. You know, if I run into this bomb, I'll die. See? Okay, so let's go ahead and see it. Now you can see on here it freezes because it's not receiving any more information. So let's dive into the code really quick. So in here, you can see that I have different types of data. I have contact data, update data, and input data. In my contact data, you can see that I have my packets here, contact data, different constructors, and then the do work switch. I did mine a little bit differently than most people did theirs just because of the limitations in the way that I designed everything. Here's my input packet in here, and then my update packet is right here, and all of that information is here with the do work. And then basically the philosophy for how everything worked is I have a network manager sitting over the top of everything, and the network manager kind of handles everything, decides when things should run, initializes, checks the connection, blah blah blah, and then in the game manager I just reference the network manager every time I need to. You know, like I'm turning his reading packets on, I turn it off. That's what keeps the game from crashing when I'm in the lobby. When it's sending packets, it won't send the packets because it is not reading from the packets. Other than that, in here I have you know, just the ship. The ship's got, you know, his he has like an owner that he has a missile count, a mine count. Oh, and then I'll go into my input over here with the keyboard. This is basically, I isolated the keyboard to all the input actions, like the creation of the packets and the, you know, the fire, the lay the mine, the weapons, the get the button, the movement, all that's in here. And then, you know, it has the account. So how I'm registering it is that it creates the ID and it increments the ID, and then it modulos it from the count. And the count can be set every game to be different, so that way it kind of has the ability to be modified by a designer if he wants to, you know, change something, kind of just see how it goes. You can see here out queue push, so let's go over here and visit my queues. That's one of the most important thing. So here's my queue. In here there's a constructor to create the headers, so all you gotta do is pass the individual types of data in, and then it creates the header. Here it sends it to the network. You can see that it sends into the in queue, and then it also goes ahead and it sends it out to the network. Here it's just writing all the data down, and then in the in queue over here I have where is the in queue? Here it is. In the in queue over here, it just kind of does the opposite. It just reads from the thing. It just goes. I'm sorry. The network manager reads from the network down here, and creates the type of data it is based on what the type is that it reads, and then it shoves it into the in queue, and then in the in queue, it actually will go ahead when it's time to process, and it will it'll go ahead and dequeue it, and then it'll do the work. And in here, that's where, you know, I come back to here and I, you know, movement, fire missile, lay mine, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see here that I'm referring to the ship's array number, this player number, and then the ID of the missile that's being fired. So I'm passing over the player number, the ID, the angle, you know, the move. Those are the two 1 to 0 floats that, you know, are the input for the, you know, the physics. And then if we jump over to here to my client, you can see that it's pretty much gutted. There is no update. There's no set angle, apply force. There's no on hits. There's nothing like that. In fact, in the game manager, or in the game cycle itself, there is actually no physics world, and there's, you know, none of that. So there, you know, we don't have to worry about any of that. And similarly, it's not sending any update packets, and it's not sending any contact packets, because it's just, all it's doing is it's registering the actual button presses that the player does. And then in here you can see that it just basically assigns the local player. So here the local player is 1. Over here the local player is going to be 0, because it's the server. And it also stores the rival gamer's value, which is just not the local gamer. So it just negates the local gamer and sets it to, you know, whatever it should be. And other than that, you know, in my connection here, you can see that in the client, this is where you would hard code the IP address. Now I'm working on getting my second computer going up. I've had a lot of technical issues with that. Somebody from class offered to help me. If I send over my thing, they're gonna work it, do it over the network with me. So for right now, if I don't end up doing if he doesn't follow through, this is where I would hard code the IP address in. Right now it just says localhost because it's doing a loop back on the 127.0.0.0.1. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this. If I can think of anything else, I'll make another video. Let's check this really quick. Game driven lobby, moving ships, show off some code. Other than that, yeah, that's it. All right, thank you.